Good evening. Today we will discuss about India and Pakistan conflict. Have you wondered why India and Pakistan always fight in battlefield or in cricket stadium? It looks like their enmity is perpetual. If you read the newspaper and watch TV, then you can feel their belligerency, their enmity, and you may feel they have a mutual hatred towards each other. But why? So, we should learn learn their history, their common history, a little bit. India and Pakistan both were in British India before 1947. In 1947, they got separated. The British left India, and India and Pakistan came into being. But after the separation, there was a major humanitarian crisis. The crisis was that the East communities was killing each other. The Hindus were killing Muslims and the Muslims were killing Hindus. Sikhs were killing Muslims also and Muslims were killing Sikhs also. But why that happened? Why they killed each other? To understand their enmity and this humanitarian crisis, we have to take a look back in their common history. The British came to do business in India, and due to the instability of the Mughal government and strong government at the provinces, the British forces became stronger, and in 1757 they defeated the Nawab of Bengal, Shiraz Dowla, and then 1761 they defeated Mughal emperor. By this victory, they conquered India, and the British East India Company became the ruling force of India. First, they understood that if the communities Hindu, Muslim, Sikhs, everyone came forward and start protest against the British, it would be very impossible for them to continue the colony, the colonial rule in particular. So they devised the grand strategy, the divide and rule. With that particular strategy in mind, they separated Bengal, a province of India, into two parts. One part majority Muslim and another dominated by the Hindus. Now, why British divided Bengal? British divided the Bengal to weaken the uprising against the British. The Muslim communities were in backward position, and both academically and economically, and the Hindu communities were academically advanced and also economically. Why that happened? The British took the power of India from Muslim rulers, the Nawab of Bengal and then the Mughal emperor. That's why Muslims had a particular reluctancy to learn English, to join government jobs, and they didn't cooperate with the British. But the Hindus adjusted very quickly. They have learned English and they joined civil service and also the government jobs. So their position in the social class were developed, but Muslims became backward. In the partition, the Muslim majority parts got a capital. So they were happy that for the first time they have enjoyed the taste of power. But Congress, dominated by the Hindus, they felt that it is a major British conspiracy to weaken Indian national independence movement. So they came forward and protested violently against the partition of Bengal. And due to the protest, the British government reunified Bengal. But within that period, the Muslim population formed a party named All India Muslim League in 1906 to protect the rights of the Muslims. So, by reunification of Bengal, Hindus became happy. The Congress became happy, but the Muslim League and the Muslims became very unsatisfied and unhappy. But the communal hatred or the distrust or hatred between the communities were not dominant at that stage. Because of the massive protests, unrests against the British government passed an act named Government of India Act in 1935, and an election in 1937 at that election the Congress party outperformed Muslim League even in Muslim dominated areas. That particular election result can prove that the mutual hatred were not dominant at that stage in India. But after the election, the Muslim League changed their strategy. Now they propagated the ideology that they should have a land for the Muslims to protect the Islam and Muslim. And some Congress leaders propagated radical Hindu ideology. So both the parties diverged from their old ideologies and to propagate the newer one. Then in 1940, the Muslim League proposed two-nation theory. The Muslim majority areas should be ruled by the Muslims and the Hindu majority areas should be ruled by the Hindus. They proposed there should be two countries. It is the two-nation theory. Now, another election was held in 1946. At that election, the previous election scenario has completely changed. Not changed, it was a paradigm shift in terms of politics, in terms of social class, in terms of religion. At that election, it was clear that Muslims are supporting Muslim League and Hindus are supporting the Congress. Then British wanted to left the India because the Second World War, after the Second World War basically, the strength of Britain, their economic and military strength decreased to a significant amount, so they wanted to leave India, but they can't leave without a solution. To leave India and without any partition was impossible, so they divided India into two parts. The Muslim majority parts became Pakistan and Hindu majority parts became India. But here is another problem. There were princely states. Princely states are the states who were not in direct control of British government, and British were happy with just their allegiance to the monarchy. So British government allowed the princely states to join either Pakistan or India. Here is another story. In 1947, the India and Pakistan came into being, the separation happened, and another princely state, the greatest princely state in terms of area and population, was Kashmir. The Kashmir was dominated by Muslim population with a considerable amount of Hindu population. but the king was Hindu. In October 1947, Pakistan army helped the Afghans of Kashmir and other Muslim communities to take over the whole of Kashmir. And then the king was scared, so he joined India and asked for their help. Then the Indian army came into the play. India and Pakistan came into the battle and the war began. Pakistan was able to take 1/3 part and India 2/3 part of the Kashmir. And by the resolution of United Nations, prominently known as Resolution 47, the line demarcated between India and Pakistan through the Kashmir, the line of control. That means Pakistan controlled Kashmir and India controlled Kashmir. The Kashmir got divided also. Then in 1965, Pakistan started another war to take the Kashmir to the full. But Indian army was strong enough to retain their position, so the adventure or the Operation Gibraltar of Pakistan went vain. And then in 1971, here is another story. For your information, at the separation or the partition of India, the Pakistan composed of two separated land, one East Pakistan and another West Pakistan. West Pakistan is present day Pakistan and East Pakistan is present day Bangladesh. In 1970, in Pakistan general election, East Pakistan leader, the Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the leader of the nation of Bangladesh, the father of the nation, he swiped the election actually, and the East Pakistan party, Awami League, attained a landslide victory over Pakistan. Pakistan means West Pakistan, but West Pakistani leaders refused to transfer the power. So the civil unrest began in East Pakistan, and the civil unrest became violent. Then Pakistan military started their operation, and they started to use heavy machinery, and they wanted to establish peace militarily, but their strategy proved fatal to the relationship between East and West Pakistan. The East Pakistanis became distrustful and became very angry against the West Pakistan, and they believe that the West Pakistani elites, they are suppressing the East Pakistanis, and they are reluctant to power to the East Pakistan. The Pakistan started military action, the war, 9-month bloody war, the genocide and everything. At that period, the India got a chance to score a goal against her oldest enemy. At that time, millions of East Pakistanis took refuge to India, so there was a humanitarian cause for India to support East Pakistan. For their support, Pakistan started war in Indian front. So India-Pakistan war began, and Pakistan defeated brutally. Pakistan got separated and Bangladesh came into being, and then Pakistan started another war, the Kargil war in 1999, but again their adventure was in vain and they retreated. That's not all. They are always in proxy wars, and if you see the narratives of two countries textbook, you will feel the hatred, the mutual hatred against each other. But what will happen? We can only hope that the next generation will somehow reconcile and to establish peace between the two neighbors. Thank you.